Welcome, Leo. It's February 2014. I'm Dadhichi from astrology.com.au. For those of you that are new, I hope you'll enjoy the experience here. It's a brief synopsis of what I see happening in the heavens and how it relates to your star sign, those of you born under the sign of the Lion. And right now, the western part of your horoscope is being triggered. We've just seen a new moon there in the 7th house of partnerships, business partnerships, as well as relationships, marriage. It also relates to public relations. So when this occurs, it means, in a sense, turning over a new leaf. And my last month's theme for all of the star signs was resolutions. And these resolutions for you, I think, are going to continue to be in the area of relationships. You know, the resolution to, if you're not in a relationship, to finally get a relationship. If you're in a relationship, to improve the relationship. Sometimes you're between both. If you're already in a relationship, to get another relationship. You know, it's all about acquisition for some people, especially Leo, because you're a very proud sort of person. So but I'd be careful of the third one there. That's not really an option that's going to work. And if I look down the transit list there, I can see there's going to be a few hiccups with that. So it's probably better if you're in a relationship to improve the one that you're in. And how can that happen? Well, we need to look at some of the transits there, such as Mercury in the 8th house. You know, the deep and meaningful aspect of relationships is highlighted. That's what we have to underscore this month for you. If you want to improve the relationship, you want this resolution to work, you can't simply go along superficially, the same old, same old. Now, if some of you are men looking at this, I'd say to you that you really need to get deep and meaningful. You know, you need to talk to the person, not just like this. You need to talk while you use this and this. Listen with the ears, listen with the heart. You need to listen sensitively to what the other person is doing. And that's interesting too, when we talk about listening sensitively, especially with Mercury moving into the 8th house, which is the sign of Pisces for you. Pisces is all about what? Empathy, compassion, and that means putting yourself in the other person's shoes, the other person's position. So that's how you make these transits work for you this month, Leo. We see here the ruling body for you is the Sun, in a very powerful opposition to your Sun sign. So this comes with quite a bit of challenge. And we see Venus, your career planet, in the sixth sector. Now, how does that tie in with this? I'll tell you. Often when we're struggling to finish our work, to get to that next base in the baseball game of profession, we tend to ignore or not make enough time for the people that we love. And I think that's exactly what's happening to you. Venus is in a bit of a precarious position this month, so you're not going to be as sensitive and diligent in the relationship if you're trying to play catch up with your work. So it's a very delicate balancing act for you this month. That's an important date for you. That's the 6th of February, when we have that perfect opposition aspect. We see also some other hard aspects there from your ruling planet, the Sun in hard aspect to Saturn. Now that's on the 12th of February, but it can happen leading up to that for a few days. The Sun and Saturn combination has a lot to say about heavy responsibility. These responsibilities we see, 7th house, 4th house, have to do with your relationships. Again, we're extending this theme, but 4th house has to do with family. Saturn is an older planet too, and being in the 4th house, this can sometimes relate to older parents, older members of the family, or just some sort of familial burden that's making it hard for you. And that's understandable. If you're not sensitive enough to the person you love, it could be because someone else that you love is over here kicking you in the butt all the time, wanting your attention. So not easy, but you can get through that, and you've got the ability by remaining positive to do that. 12th of February is that aspect. We see also this Mercury transit in this 8th house, sexuality, shared resources, is doing a retrograde motion. So you need to go back over your accounts, I think, this month. For some of you that have been a little bit lax, that laxity can come as a result of putting too much trust in some of the people that work for you, namely accountants, for example. These bean counters really work for you. And I think often what happens is that you you abnegate the responsibility by thinking, oh, I'm paying this guy, so I don't have to look at that anymore. Well, that's incorrect. You really do need to pay some strict attention to what your accountant is doing, what your lawyer is doing, what the people that work for you are doing. This 8th house and 6th house are strongly linked, and Mercury has everything to do with communication. If you see something you don't like, you better say something about it. Otherwise, you've got no one else to blame but yourself. It's always 20/20 hindsight, isn't it? So I'm trying to give you a heads up on what to expect and how to really bypass some of these difficulties. That's the only reason you would have an astrology forecast. There's no point going to the doctor, asking him for the prescription and then throwing it in the waste paper bin, right? So please take heed of what I'm saying here, especially with respect to paying strict attention to the people that work for you, that manage your money and your finances and your business affairs. So these critical dates, 15th, 16th of February, we're seeing there, Sun in conjunction with Mercury, Sun moving into the 8th house. That again highlights this mystery or these hidden aspects of your business and the hidden aspects of your relationship. Mercury in the right angle to Saturn, 7th house, 4th house. This is again a repeat of the theme I mentioned earlier, the older person who may be creating some problems for you. Now what that can do too is that it can distract you from the moment. You know, how often have you been out? It's supposed to be a fun night, but your brain is still back with the situation you were at 2 or 3 hours earlier. That's a no-no. It means you're not living in the now. So I want you to cut the connection with the past during this period of the month. That's around the 19th, 20th, 21st of February. You need to remain stationed, fully aware and present in the moment. That way you're going to enjoy what's happening in the moment rather than worrying about what's happening back there. If you're not dealing with the person that you've got a problem with at that moment, then there's nothing you can do about it. So we have these really excellent aspects for you on the 23rd, 24th and 25th of February. Venus in a very fine triangular aspect to the career sector ensures some nice sociable openings there and just generally a little effort to achieve some good results. The Sun in conjunction with Neptune, again all this 8th house stuff, wow. But that's creative. So I don't know, maybe you're going to go out and buy a book on the 108 tantric sort of positions. In any case, your sexual affairs will be much more augmented for the better with this aspect. And then the Venus in the 6th house to the Saturn in the 4th. Now that is the time when you can resolve some of the problems that I've seen in your domestic arena. And that also has a real estate connotation. So that's nice for those of you that are wanting to expend money to beautify your house, to maybe offload some real estate or some assets which are bigger ticket items. So that's around the 25th. The hard aspect of Jupiter to Uranus on the 26th, that's an interesting one. Jupiter is a very good aspect for you, but it shows that this is a continuing long-term 1-year aspect. 12th house, house of secrets. Some information may come to light that's not so pleasant. That can happen at different stages throughout this 1-year period. And again, you need to maintain your composure to handle, I call them secrets or information that comes to light. Don't react too strongly to that. Just study it first before you cast your judgment. So I'll be here again next month. I hope you will be too. In the meantime, join me at astrology.com.au where we have a whole range of astrological, numerological and esoteric services, daily, monthly and yearly readings, personal services with yours truly and some of my other peers, and of course lots of free psychic readings there too. Lots of fun, very informative. Have a great month. See you here next time. Bye-bye.